Federal Capital Territory.
From our Speaker, the Right Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, and the leadership of the House. We are here on this courtesy for the sole reason that the National Assembly makes laws for the Federal Capital Territory. And if we are looking at a critical component of our country, such as mass transportation, be it land, water, rail. Let me leave out the ones that fly in the air. It behoves us to take Abuja as a special case study. I want to say, Honorable Minister, that members of this committee are delighted, and by extension, the House and Nigerians, to have you as minister. I know already some people are saying wicked this and wicked that, but given the assignment at hand, we would want more of wicked so that our transportation system can work. For those of us who have lived in Abuja over the past 8 years at least, we saw nothing but inaction in Abuja. When I came to Abuja in 2011 as a member of the 7th Assembly, there were street lights all over Abuja. But in the intervening 8 years, Abuja witnessed darkness in most parts. And no resident, no visitor to Abuja is happy with that. But suddenly, with the coming of the minister, and this is not to patronize him, I personally saw work going on several street lights within the city center, and I think that is the way to go. Talking about mass transportation, we know that our government, our country, has invested so much in mass transit schemes. But the issue is, why do they fail? In between 2012 and 2014, we invested 16 billion Naira under the Shopee program. Most of those funds were given out through the infrastructure bank to certain operators. From our findings so far, only 2 has fully paid, and we are trying to ask questions. What happened to the rest? This is part of what this committee is supposed to unravel. Earlier today, we went to the Abuja Urban Mass Transit to look at their facility. We've had submissions from the management of the Abuja Mass Transit Company. And I think that the young man saddled with the responsibility of running the agency has some clear ideas of what is to be done. But what is on ground today, if you go into the facility, is a myriad of abandoned and broken down buses. And that is not good for the image of the company. It doesn't speak well of our transportation system. I know there are many issues, even having as little as terminals, which is popularly known as bus stops, to operate because they use these long vehicles. They are hardly there in the city. I don't know if it was a mistake not to have that in the road master plan. But I think that for an effective and efficient mass transportation system, we will need to look at some of those road infrastructures that would aid their operations. One would wonder, for instance, why would a sub-national like Lagos run their mass transportation, Lamata, very well. Only yesterday they launched the Lagos Blue Line. And if a sub-national can do that, why can't the central government, especially in the capital city? So we believe that working together as the National Assembly with the minister, that we can at least have the Abuja light rail up and running. We are delighted to have read where the minister stated that within the next 8 months, the Abuja light rail will come on stream. And that is why I said at the beginning that we would like to partner with him, because part of our mandate is to provide sustainable solutions. And if he is already thinking ahead in that line, all we have to do is to support him. We all know that subsidy was removed a few months back, and we know the effects on our country today. The movement of persons and goods from point A to point B is a very critical factor, such that if we have an efficient mass transportation scheme, as some other countries do, then all this talk about palliatives or the pains of removing subsidy would have been reduced by more than half. So, Honorable Minister, it is our thinking that the mass transportation system in Nigeria must be reorganized. It must be reorganized so that our people can be able to move seamlessly with less pain to and from work, to and from their places of business, to and from places of leisure. In many countries, the promotion of tourism is also dependent on effective transportation. Abuja is fine enough as a city, but coming into Abuja, and then you cannot have organized transportation system that can scare a whole lot of people from visiting. And then we are losing revenue. What is the contribution of our transportation system to the GDP? As little as Mauritius, it contributes 13% to its GDP. But the transportation system in Nigeria oscillates between 1 to 3%, some point 2 point, hardly ever hitting 3%. So we must have conscious and deliberate policies, not just throwing money at the problem, as we have done in the past, buy vehicles, push them out to some operators, and nobody is looking at the returns on investment. I know that ideally for government-sponsored mass transit, it's supposed to be a social scheme, but the world is also moving from being a social scheme to a social enterprise. So we must look at the whole gamut. So, Honorable Minister, sir, what we have come this afternoon is to encourage you, and by so doing, urge you to also look into the Abuja mass transit so that we can have an organized system. All these other little buses that are coming on painted colors, they were designated to operate outside of the city center. The problem of one chance is there right here in the city center. But if we have organized transportation, I'm sure that would be taken care of. Having said this much, Honorable Minister, thank you for welcoming us. And that's the essence of our visit. Thank you.
I was just giving a brief the permanent secretary on what is the problem. I said I will not read it until I go around myself and for a fact finding. But the truth of the matter, one must tell you, I'm going to overhaul the entire system. and we overhaul the entire system. You have said here that you went to Obama's house and the man there. I'm not going to be carried away. People see government assets as not my assets. Nobody wants to think that wherever you work, you have to protect it. Because if that work is not there, you can't collect salary. We have this attitude that what is my business? Time has come that it cannot be using business as usual. So I have a lot of time to rework the system. You talked about Lagos. Now, why can't it work here? Two different things. Lagos is purely seen as a state. Lagos is purely seen as a state. Abuja is seen as like a state, but not a state, but like as a state. Our budgeting system is too poor. Too poor. The national budget of FCT 15 billion naira for 2023. 1 billion naira has been released. So when you say why is their own system not work, how will it work? How will Lagos not work? Well, Lagos is as a priority. And Lagos want to commit money to it. There's no two ways about it. I came and I talked about Metro. The president said he wants to ride on the Metro. I agree. Ask them in their budget. Where is the fund to make it work? So we must be realistic and tell ourselves the truth and tell Nigerians the truth. With the way we are going, are we really working for this for us to survive? Such a major project up to now cannot be functional. In fact, even if it is completed, you talk about operation again. So it is really very, very hard. So, but for me, you have challenges. You know there are challenges, I must also such a to make sure that this things work out. By the grace of God, we are going to inaugurate what we call our own cabinet by next week. The President Peterobi has given approval. So we believe that by the time everybody's on board, then we'll start fully, because you need people to be charged of this business, particularly this transport. It's very, very key. But one thing I can assure you that we have the capacity to overturn this. We have the passion, we have the commitment to do the work. Now we are going to the next stage of the budget. The budget is in the court. If you put another 15 billion, and release 1 billion, we'll tell Nigerians, see what your budget is, see what you have, where do we get the money to solve the problem. And again, I want to appeal. If you see what I have experienced in FCT, in the name of God, we can continue putting project and project and project. At the end of the day, no one has been executed. It does not make sense. I thank God I'm going to supervise the 2024 budget. No one new project will enter anywhere. Not one. Not one. You must tell us the way you have put half. Can't do project for 2003 up to 2023, 20 years. It's a laughable thing. Take 2, 3, 4 you can do and finish it and go on with it. No government, not one, can finish the whole problems in this world. Not one. Even if they give you to stay at 50 years, there must be problems all the time. So when you come, you say, look, I was here for 3 years. See what I was able to do. As you come, you take on from there and move on. Not projects scattered everywhere. if you calculate the debt of the FCT, it's over 1.something trillion. Where will you get the money from? For negotiations, everything done as if, I was in Wasani College.
Yeah, what's that?
Where have you seen negotiations like this? My land. I bring my land. I bring money to the infrastructure. You tell me to bring private people who build and sell and collect money and go. No, tell me who has ever had that? I have the land. Though. I'm bringing money to create infrastructure. Then it's just that you are going to bring one person to build and sell. All those things, I will cancel them. I'm going to cancel them. Because we can't operate this way. What I expected people should do, my equity is land and infrastructure. How much are you going to use to develop? Then we look at the percentage. Okay, if the value you are bringing is higher than, okay, you take higher profit. We take the lower profit. That is how it is done. But if that's not going to be done, then I provide infrastructure and then I allocate the land to different individuals to go and build their houses. Not to make one big man somewhere. No, nobody does that. And that's what you see everywhere. How can government spend 108 billion naira on its own land and provide infrastructure, and you tell me one man is a developer? You give him the land, he builds, and you go and sell, and become a billionaire. What kind of system is this? How? How can we continue to allow that? I'm not going to be a party to that at all. I will not be a party to that. So we have our system. There is a systemic problem that we must have to address. So the executive is a problem. The assembly is a problem. Other stakeholders, the civil servants are a problem too. So we're all problems. We are all problems. So we must see that and tell ourselves the truth. Look at ourselves eyeball to eyeball. Do your own to support us move. We'll do our own to support us move. That is the way it should work. If you want us, like I said to everybody, look, if we're going to do a project of 50 billion, there's nothing wrong. We shouldn't say we'll do a project of 200 billion. When we do that, there's no one Naira. And even when you approve, the releases are not there. So this is my area of interest. But we are not including the palliative, contrary to what they were said. So when I saw the palm sec told me that we were not there, no money. I said, why? So I wrote a memo. Yes, we are not there. So I wrote a memo to Mr. President. They omitted FCT. He approved, but the money has not been released. The 2 billion they've given to states, they've not given to FCT. But we are pursuing, believing that they'll give us. My concern is mass transit. But before I do that, I have to make sure. Where are we? No, I will not accept the cost to put back the 400 million. That's not the problem. If we put back the 400 million, will the problem not come up again? We don't have maintenance culture. You are driving on a road, you see a small pothole, you will not repair it. You will leave it until when it has gotten big and the money is too much, that's when you will come. Small thing that you correct that time, you will leave it. You don't have maintenance culture. And people should know that it will be difficult. And where you are not making profit is a problem. Because government is not here to make a profit. It's to reduce, cushion the sufferings of our people. So sometimes the buses are hired to churches, buses are hired to people who have marriages. What is the control measure? That's the truth. And we must tell ourselves the simple truth. Look at the number of buses, about 100 something buses. big buses, we cannot account. We're talking about transportation problem. Like I said, some of these buses coming in here ought not to come. There should be a terminal where they should stay. And the buses that lie within the metropolis should take people from that area. Like I say, one chance. See all this, you don't know where they come from. They just enter into a taxi, they rob you, collect whatever you have, so security in the. So these are things we're trying to, like I said, street lights. What is street lights? Because nobody cares. But because somebody has cared now, it's on. I was coming from the airport when we saw Mr. President off last night, around 1 a.m. Right from airport down here, there was street light. But is it leadership is important. If you don't care, those who work under you will not care. If I was driving that early morning and I didn't see light, whoever inside must know that if you like go and carry all the church people, mosque, shout my name, talk whatever, it's not my business. If you like carry ethnicity, it's not my business. It's not my business. The right thing must be done for the interest of everybody. Whether you're a Christian, whether you're a Muslim, must you stay in darkness? I mean, must you stay in darkness because I'm a Christian, because I'm a Muslim, or because I'm a pagan? I don't believe in God. So I should not. I don't understand. Small things people should know that we are past above this level. We are bringing things that will bring us down, bring us backward. People carry stories. Don't bother about what people say about me. I've never thought about what anybody said about me. In fact, if I wake up, nobody says anything about me. I'm sick. I'm sick. Yeah, I'm sick. I just said, they didn't say anything today. There's something fundamentally wrong. But when you say something, I feel so happy. I feel how things are moving on. You know, so look, yesterday with Samsung, I was calculating debt of non-payment of grant rent. How much? 34 billion naira. Ask him. I said, I'm going to collect all those back. Oh. Your name may be there. Your name may be there. It's not my business. Pay. And you get the services you want. We're publishing it on Thursday. All those people who have properties that have not paid their grant rent, I'm giving them 2 weeks. They don't pay. I revoke it. I allocate it to that person, make money. I repair roads, put lights, sanitation will be good. That is all. I don't want to live in a good city without spending money. Is it possible? Not possible. So, Mr. Chairman, we need your help and your colleagues. And that's why I'm able to tell you all this. And we'll change our pattern. Our projects now will tie directly to our IGR. Yes. I don't want to start a project without finishing a project. I will tie it to our IGR. No more spending our IGR for what I do not know. From this month now, don't think that there will no one naira until the end of the month. I know how much we have in IGR. So that's okay. We normally collect time of 15 billion. Fine. If that 15 billion, okay, what do we do? Contractor A, contractor B, contractor C, contractor D. Every month you get 2 billion, you too get 2 billion, you get 1 billion, you get this. If you spend 11 billion, you keep 5 billion to run around governance. No project will die. That is success in River State. So I told them they must make sacrifice. These are the owners of this civil they are the owners of. I have not known it, but I have experience. Yeah. So I'm handling them small, one by one. I'm not in a rush, you know. So I really thank you sincerely for this visit. Ordinarily, I would have called for Secretary, but I said, no, you are the first time that most have to honor you. And that shows their concern for our plight. From time to time, we'll run to you. Don't pursue us, because 2024, I'm going to be on people's neck, this budget. I'm not allowed to sleep until you bless us well. But sincerely, I see that there will be collaboration between us and you to make FCT what it's supposed to be. I promise, Mr. President, in 8 months, God willing, we'll ride on the metro line to the glory of God. Thank you, and God bless you.